Hello, everybody. We are here in the Cryptonomist YouTube channel and in the metaverse of Nemesis with Bryer, our expert of crypto trading, and he's taking care of a trading column for a lot of time now on Cryptonomist. So I'm really happy to have him here.
It's
Thank
a,
you so much for your time.
it's a pleasure to be with you today. I appreciate the invitation, Amelia.
So as I said, you write this technical analysis trading column on Cryptonomist for like 4 days a week, and you have been participating in the Bitcoin market since a long time, like 2009, so very long time since the beginning, basically. So what are you seeing across the crypto market right now?
Yeah, well, a lot of fear, a lot, I follow the fear and greed index every day. I put that in my article for the Cryptonomist, like you said, 4 days a week. And the fear is pretty high right now. I think that's a good sign for people that are long Bitcoin because first I should preface that nothing I say is ever financial advice, but this is a good opportunity for myself personally and people that are long Bitcoin and believe in the technology and it is the future of money to pick up some Bitcoin. So that's what I'm seeing out there is that a lot of people, this is like, you're seeing a lot less posts on Twitter. Crypto Twitter's kind of cooled off a lot since the top last year. And even like Trading View, where, I pick a lot of charts out for the Cryptonomist, there's a lot less charts to choose from. And some projects like Avalanche, which is I consider maybe like a blue chip project in the space. You might go a week or 10 days without somebody even posting a new chart. So that to me tells me that we're pretty close to the bottom most likely, but we'll have to wait and see. But it does feel like we're getting near to that point where it seems like a value area for me at least to add to my positions.
So what are you focusing on personally in this bear market?
Yeah,
Not
I'm
not a
interested in a
financial
lot.
advice again.
Excuse me.
Not a financial advice again.
I'm looking at a lot of the smart contract platforms that I think have the most potential. Like I'm interested in Near Protocol a lot right now. I think that blockchain and that project has a lot of potential. I'm always interested in Chainlink, and they've had a lot of developments in the last uh, few weeks with SmartCon that happened in the last 10 days or week ago. So I'm interested in that stuff, and I'm also interested in like quant. And you can see that I think quant. I checked before I got on here today. It's up like 86% in the last 90 days against the U.S. dollar, and Chainlink was up like 20% I think against the dollar, and it's up against Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you're starting to see, like, I have this theory, and I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people in the Link community that have realized, or it seems like Chainlink has led us into bull markets and led us out of bull markets. It peaked like 6 months to the day, I believe, than Bitcoin last cycle's top. So I think it was, I'm not going to say the day, I think it was June, and then Bitcoin peaked in November 10th. It was like almost six, I think it was 6 months to the day. So, yeah, May or yeah, April, May, June. Yeah, so something like that. So like 6 months to the day though, and it seems like it might be starting to gain against the other like Bitcoin and Ethereum, obviously the two top projects in the space. So that's another indication to me that we could be like starting to turn the corner again soon, and that maybe the bottom is very near or already been put in. I actually thought the bottom would be 17K just from looking at the charts, but I also wasn't anticipating the conflict in Ukraine and all of the other like geopolitical stuff going on around the world, and the rise of interest rates in the U.S. and the central banks, obviously doing what they're doing right now. So it's hard to anticipate. You can never anticipate all the variables, and that's not what trading is about. It's just about giving you the best edge possible. So that's what I try to take into consideration. As many variables that I view, you rank them however you want to rank them personally, but you take these variables into consideration. And trading isn't supposed to predict the future; it's supposed to give you the best edge on the market and everybody. So that's what I try to do.
And speaking about the central banks, what impact do you believe they have in the macro markets, but also on the crypto markets?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We saw what they did, during COVID, the COVID bottom. We saw the COVID crash is where Bitcoin's price eventually met its bottom. It was 3,800 before that, and then we saw the rally above 10K, and then we saw the COVID crash down to 3,100 and a quick revival, basically back above $6,000, and then we saw the run up to $69,044. So I think that over time, people are going to realize, that central banks and their money printer is just a way to steal, debase our money over time, and it's just a hidden tax. It's theft from our savings. So the overall picture for me is that each time that we see these boom bust cycles, and as we get more, is blockchain technology and Bitcoin in particular as a money becomes more prominent and well known, that we will see more trust being put into these technologies as a store of value, and that there will be less volatility most likely. I think that it will always be. I think we're seeing that Bitcoin will probably always be something that's speculated on pretty highly, but over time, I do think that the volatility will wane a little bit. But yeah, central banks are obviously they obviously have an impact on every asset, but as we can see, Bitcoin's been pretty resilient. I mean, $17,000 Bitcoin is at the bottom, or the 17,611 was the bottom so far. I think that's pretty impressive in with the conditions we're in right now. So I think that the belief in Bitcoin is still super strong, and it's going nowhere.
And speaking more in general, what suggestion would you give to traders? What's the most important thing for a trader to consider when basically they do their job?
Yeah, I would say first off is probably like position size. You obviously don't want to be like learning how to trade with like your entire portfolio. So if you're getting into trading and you really don't understand a lot about trading, it's probably good to just dip your feet in the pool, or maybe even trade with like keep track of yourself and actually not trade with fake money or whatever you want to call it. So I would ease into it and not go in, with half your portfolio or all of your portfolio, which is actually a common mistake that a lot of people make in trading. So I think that is a huge thing to learn and take account of. And there's a few other things, like just obviously, I think you follow the Fibonacci and stuff like that. I think that's probably the most important thing to like look at overall, is trying to figure out how these historical levels have reacted over time, and just trying to learn honestly about Fibonacci retracements and stuff like that. And then as you get further in, you learn about the RSI, which is the relative strength index, whether something's oversold or overbought. And overbought would be over 70 on the RSI, and oversold is under 30. So you learn about these things, and then these are also like these variables that you can take into consideration. Like these are inside the technical analysis crypto variables, but there's obviously these macro variables also, like central banks and stuff. You have to take all these things into account.
And what about you? How do you personally approach trading?
I am more of like a I don't. How would I say? I would be. I pick and choose my spots. Like I'm very. I pay a lot of attention to the Fibonacci levels and stuff. So if I see something getting a little too hot, or something that is oversold, in my opinion, that's when I'm gonna dive in. Like even just looking at like the levels of like where we are from the top. Like if you look at like near, or near, for example, which is like 81, 82% maybe from its peak at $20.44 last cycle. I look at that and I'm thinking, I see maybe it does lose another 50%. It goes down to $2, or under $2. What is the upside compared to the downside? And now, because I did sell before the top, so now I'm looking back and I'm like, well, I've missed 80%. So this is a value area for me to start accumulating a position in dollar cost averaging in long. I'm not really a day trader. I'm not somebody who's going in and like there's people that are obviously day trading and stuff. But I just think that's more or less gambling. So I try to stay away from that.
And when do you think the bear market will end right now? Do you think you can anticipate over the short and longer term for the crypto market?
Yeah, I think the bear market. I think the bear market probably will come to a conclusion in the next 3 to 6 months. I think we're already beginning to see, like I said, Link and some of these other these type of projects starting to gain against Bitcoin and the dollar. So I think that we are probably less than 6 months away from like Bitcoin maybe finding its bottom or like verifying that the bottom's in. And I kind of anticipate that Bitcoin will probably trade in between where it is right now and the 40K level until the next halving, which is about 490 days away, approximately, something like that. So I think we'll be in that range for probably the next year and a half or whatever that is, and then after that we'll see the halving, and then historically a year after the halving is when the magic happens, and you get the year or more of a crazy bull market where everything typically appreciates. As long as the central banks don't completely blow up the economy, and we don't see like $3,100 Bitcoin again, even if we go back down and test 12 or 13K, I still think we'll probably see a six-figure Bitcoin next cycle for the first time. So that's exciting. And if we stay in this where we are around 20K, I think that there's a good chance that like 120K maybe Bitcoin next cycle. That's probably where I would have to say we would peak out.
Thank you so much for your time for this interview. I remember everybody that they can read your articles on Cryptonomist. Your articles are pinned on top in the trading section. So every day, almost every day, 4 days a week, they can find your analysis. So thank you so much.
Really I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you.
Thanks.